Oh, morning class. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone is well. A little change of scenery today. We're back in the shop. We left off the other day where we did some work with a hacksaw. Watch me hacksaw out a couple of these fancy little slices off of our piece to give us that shape. So remember this one here, it was the axe head. So what we had was we had a line drawn across the back, lines here. We hacksawed a bunch off. So what we ended up doing is we're going to take a flat file. We're going to round this off on the top here, get a nice good shape on it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a flat file and we're going to bevel this edge, give ourselves that pointed look of a axe head. Because if you remember, that's the hand tools one, right? The demo. So we see they got that nice bevel there, a nice bevel on that side. And that is going to be our goal today. I won't get all the way there today. I'm not going to make you watch me file for an hour, but we're going to run through some filing. We're going to get that taken care of and get the basics, some file safety, file anatomy, just a couple things to look out for, help you guys be successful. So we're going to do that right here on this vise. And yeah, let's get to it. So we're going to set this up here. Things to see well, it's good. Okay, first things first. Files. I got numerous of them in the shop. You're going to notice some are quite rough. This one has big teeth on it, lots of grip. This one, smaller teeth. It's going to be your finishing file. So if you guys been in the construction shop at all, you know that there are different grades of sandpaper, different grades, grit. So an 80 would be rough, 40 would be really rough. 400 grit would be nice and smooth. Files are kind of the same way. So I use the rough file, big teeth, for shaping. And then I use the smaller teeth on this one for finishing to give myself that nice look, nice clean look at the end. This is going to take away the bigger scratches just because these more aggressive files are going to put some scratches in your workpiece. Smaller file will take that away. Also, round files, same thing. I've got rough ones, I've got smooth ones. Biggest thing with all these handles, they got to stay on. You need to operate these with the handle because if you don't, you're going to end up with that tang in your palm looking like some dude up on a cross. We don't want that. We don't want any injuries in the classroom. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of steel, start it out as one of these. Now we're here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this in the vise. And we're going to place this lower section here that we haven't cut off in the vise. That's what we're going to hold on to. That's our grip. I like putting that in the vise because it gives me some extra height to work with. So I got more clearance with the files. We're going to take a file here. And we're going to start to round out this top. Don't have to go crazy, but get it as round as you want it to be, right? Get it to a place where you're happy with it. So in case I haven't mentioned it, files are like hacksaws. They cut on the push. Pulling hard backwards, not going to be anything. It's not going to do anything for you. So we're going to cut on the push. Okay, so I've already done a bit of filing on this one. So as you can see, it didn't take long to get that nice shape we're looking for. But what we're going to do is we're going to work on this edge now. We're going to put a bevel on it. So we're going to do that by clamping it in the vise the same way. And we're going to take our file. Since this is a low vise, I don't like working on vices this low normally. I'm gonna actually take a seat. I get a seat here, and whole goal is to get yourself nice and comfortable. So with this, I'm gonna work on an upward angle, probably about 45 degrees. So that's what I want my finished bevel to look like. And I'm just gonna start to work up. and across the axe head. You're going to see it start to take shape. You can see that bevel starting to form. Want to work a little faster, you can grab a more aggressive file. It's going to leave more marks, but it will be more aggressive. So we're going to use this. We're going to work at this for a few minutes. Give you guys an idea of what I'm looking for. Yeah, we're definitely making progress already. Haven't even been working that long, which is great. So as you can see, we're starting to get that edge on there. Already did one edge earlier, but we're almost getting to that point. So that's great. We're going to work a little more on this, and then we'll switch over to the softer file. We'll clean it up with that, make sure we don't have any big scratches. We want this to look good and clean. So we're going to work on this for a minute. Yeah, we're definitely making some progress. That's good. So just so you guys know, this isn't going to be a 10-minute deal. It's going to take you a little bit of time to put this edge on, to do it correctly, to make it look good. But all in all, there isn't a whole lot of work in this hand tools project. So we're going to work on this. We're going to work nice and steady when we get back here, get this knocked out, move into the welding right away. Probably going to give you 3 classes for this tops, I'd say. Our timeline is quite tight, so I have to manage things appropriately time-wise. So big focus on this course is the welding. We're definitely gonna not spend as much time on this, but move into the welding. Then we'll use the welding to complete the rest of the hand tools project, because we know that we need to do a bunch of welding for the bark, the tree rings, the base on this. So let's carry on with this. Do a little bit more. Let's take a look at what we got here. So right there, I've got it looking pretty good. Still have a bit of a flat part on here yet. It's kind of hard to see the light reflection, but we'll finish that up, and then we'll clean up the smooth file, and that'll be pretty good. So what I'm going to do here is hit this with the smooth file, take some of the big scratches out of it, and then we'll talk about what to do once we've completed this step. Big key with this one, guys, is also keeping our angle nice and consistent. Whatever that angle is, if it's here, it's here, if it's here, I don't really care. We just have to keep it consistent. It's going to give us a nice looking edge. It's not going to look all rounded off. Okay, we've got a nice looking edge on that side. A little bit more work could be done, but I'm not going to make you watch me file this forever. Just so you know, this is warming up. It is not hot, but it's definitely warm. Friction, right? We're running steel, over steel, cutting steel. All that generates friction. Friction is heat. So just be aware, if you're going crazy with this file, you're going to grab this, you may be in for a little bit of a surprise. So we want to make sure that we are taking basically precautionary measures. And I did not this time around, so I messed up. At the beginning of this lesson, what I should have done, taken these off, because my safety glasses are right here. They do no good for me when they're sitting on the table. Kind of the same thing I expect you guys. We all know that safety glasses are being worn all the time. You know, being in here by myself, I don't always get in the habit of putting my safety glasses on, especially when doing these lessons. In front of you guys, I should be doing it all the time, anytime we're working with hand tools. So forgive me for that, please. But we got this section here. So let's talk about this a little bit. So we got this here. We got a nice bevel on it. Decent bevel on this side. This is actually the nicer one. What I would do after I'm done this is I would start working on these edges a little bit. Flatten those out a little bit. Flatten those ones out a little bit. Then I'm going to draw my line here with the soapstone. I'm going to cut that off with the hacksaw. And then I'm going to file up all these edges, these three sides, make them real nice. After that, you want to take some emery cloth to this. Emery cloth is basically sandpaper for steel. It's black. It's got a different structure. It's got a different feel to it. It's like sandpaper, but not quite. We'll go over that tomorrow and that lesson. So with that being like this, it's kind of what I'm looking for. If you're doing a double bit axe, cool. You just got two sides to sharpen, not a big deal. I'd like to see some creativity with it. If you're just doing a standard one, that's fine. If you are doing a standard one, I will mark it a little bit more stringent than if you are doing something creative. I like people to kind of push themselves out of their comfort zone a little bit. That's how we grow. So got no problem either way. I just want to see one done. And what we're going to do now is basically just cut you guys loose for the day. So what I've done is what I've wanted. We did a bit of filing. We talked about that. One thing I will say with these files, folks, is you got to be careful with them because these are hardened. If they smack something hard, we lose certain properties when we harden steel. So with this being so hard, we lose what's called ductility. It means it's not going to flex at all. And if it does flex, it's going to flex very minimal. And then it's going to do the same thing a pane of glass would do, which is break. So when we harden up steel like this and turn it into tool steel, we kind of turn it into a steel version of glass. Yes, it is sharp. It will hold a bit of an edge, but it is very brittle. So if we damage these, you know, if we drop them, if we bang them off things like a vise, there's a good chance we're going to chip some teeth here. But if you are going crazy on something and pressing, there's a good likelihood that this could snap in the middle. We don't want that. I've had a few break. The edges on the steel are really, really sharp when it does break. So we don't want that. We want to protect ourselves in here at all times. But if you find you're using one of these and for some reason it's just not cutting as good as it should, we do have one of these guys. It's a little wire brush. It's called a file card. So it's got about, I don't know, 1.364 million little bristles. They're 1/4 inch. They're short and they're very hard. You can press on them, no problem. It's not going to hurt you because they're so tightly packed together. But those are designed to get in between the teeth of these. So if you have a bunch of junk in your file, someone filed some wood with it, it's all clogged up, or it's got soapstone or aluminum or copper in it, take a file card to it. It's going to get in between all these little teeth. It's going to help clean up this file. and keep it cutting good. Part of file maintenance. A lot of tools need maintenance in here. Now there's no junk between any of the teeth here. I can't see any of it. And this is going to cut better overall. Big part of these things is just using them properly, using them cautiously, not banging them off of things, because these cutting teeth, they will chip, they will break, and then it's pretty much useless. And it costs me some money to repair or replace. I don't repair these, I just replace them. That's why these handles come off. So these are completely reusable handles. I'll pop this onto another one and we're good to go. But I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. You know, we don't need to be breaking anything. But if it happens, it happens. You know, things happen. So that is all I have for you today, folks. Please drop your name in the chat if you have not yet. I have not taken attendance yet. So if you came in partway through, you should be good. I got 16 people in here. That's fantastic. And you guys are free to go today. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're doing well in your classes. And countdown's on again. Less than 2 weeks. We'll see you back in person. All right, so everyone have a good day. I'm gonna shut this down. If you have any questions, just yell at me through the screen or type it in the chat. Thank you much, folks. Have a good day. See ya.
Bye, mister.